how much time does it take to be a board member? And how do you find the time to participate at the necessary level on all the boards?
Yeah, it's a really good question and something I'm going to say in fairness, I haven't done all that well. If I was to have this talk a year ago, I would have had 5 more boards that have actually scaled my boards down by half. Um, but the answer to your question is, if you want to make a commitment, then you need to follow through on the commitment, which means having read the materials, coming armed with insights, observations, being willing to engage, and that does require commitments. Just to give you a sense, at the Metrolinx board for a board meeting, we might have somewhere between 400 to 500 pages to read. At the VCIB board, if I look at all the committees and the board itself, 300 to 400 pages to read. Often those, we're getting better in terms of some of those pages being PowerPoint slides, but a lot of those are not PowerPoint slides. They are Word documents. They are detailed. They could be detailed financials. You're getting into, and from a risk standpoint, we've got a risk appetite framework and a risk that we have to drill down into many of those risks. There's a lot of detail. So the short answer is, if you're going to make a commitment, be very clear about what the level of commitment is, and be very clear that you've got the capacity and capability to do it. And I'm going to say it is really obvious to most people when board members come prepared and thoughtful, and when they don't, right? So if they're asking questions about stuff that's in the material, if they're not speaking at all or not engaged, or they can't respond to requests for feedback from leadership, it becomes really clear. And my view is, why waste everyone's time? If you can't be there and be present and be knowledgeable and thoughtful, don't make the commitment in the first place. But it is actually, you should expect to spend, and that number, Adam, in most cases, if you ask most big boards, and I'm part of this Deloitte group that Nancy would be aware of, where we have sort of bi-weekly calls on board issues at a more senior and a bigger level, the volume of work and the issues that arise are becoming more complex. And so the commitment on the part of board members is growing exponentially.